Chicks, one screen. Woo! Welcome back. And today we are talking about Sprung. Now, this movie was the early 2000s, right? So
Right.
in the early 2000s, I was in high school and we heard the word sprung and just associated with being, then it really wasn't pussy whipped, but basically being, a man or a woman being pussy whipped and just doing any and everything they could for that person that they were with, right? I've never saw the movie, so I got my black card revoked for not seeing it, and I could have done without seeing it, me personally.
Okay. I feel like so it was a light-hearted way of being sprung. I
Okay.
understand the concept of what everyone thinks when you hear that word. Oh, you tied down. You ain't even going out. Nobody had no drink with nobody. You just in with this person. So I felt like this one, because it was also a comedy, took a lighter spin on the being sprung in different perspectives of okay, you now just want to be with this person, even if we do go out to drinks. I expect when I call you, we can go out anytime.
Right.
And I think that maybe the title for it is a little off-putting because it's not. I
It,
don't think it's really to consider sprung.
right.
More that you've elevated now. Your dating or experimenting with people.
So I'm gonna say, because I am a big cinematic person, that this does fit the '90s way of there are two couples, one couple, gets together, but the other couple doesn't want them to get together. Similar to the whole booty. Well, I can't
What do you
think of this
call?
booty call. Um, every way is okay. This is what we're gonna do. Everything is a lot of our movies were couples and whatnot.
Right.
But again, like you said, the movie title is a bit off-putting because like I kept sitting there waiting for fucking Tisha Campbell's person to be like, "Oh my God, I want him." There's no way that you could, tell him me otherwise. It was very light, so I feel like it could have been, a different title.
Yeah, well, again, because it was a comedy, I think they definitely put a more lighter spin on it, especially for all the movies that were coming out in that
Mhm.
time. So it kind of like, all right, let's not go too hard. That's
Right,
that's
right,
my thing because if you went on the level of a booty call, if or how to be a player, they kind of went in,
right.
So this was you kind of got the message, you pulled what you needed from the message, and I feel like the people understood that we can also have balance.
Right, right,
Be
right.
with my person, I could be out with my person, but I could also go out and hang out with my friends. I think the issue in with this movie is that the two friends who just wanted their person all the time was like, okay, you're not giving me 24-hour attention is a problem. You're sprung because you're not
Right,
paying me, your friend, attention
right,
all the time,
right,
which
right.
that wasn't even the scenario.
It wasn't like I don't feel like they were spending way too much. I feel like they were doing the adequate amount of dating to get to know each other. They went to the park. He took her
Right.
to, to dance. All the things that in the '90s most men were doing to date. So it wasn't like he took her away and was telling her like you can't call your friend, which we've seen in some scenarios, and he wasn't controlling.
Well, that would be a different thing. That wouldn't even be sprung. That'd
And
be Stockholm.
yeah, right,
I don't
right.
think we'll be reviewing any Stockholm movies.
Not at all. There wasn't too much sex in this movie, which was okay. I think the main sex might have been between the starring co-stars, the friends.
Right. I feel like they were the one. I felt like if anything, they were more sprung off of
Right,
not having their friends even date, and that became them getting sprung off each other because they couldn't stay away from each other, trying to sabotage
right,
their friends.
Right.
So if you thought about it that way, they were sprung off of sabotaging their own friends, and then it comes that they just get together because they done now spent so much time together. They done sprung off
Right.
each other. In the end, that's why they end up the ones getting married and not
Married.
the first couple. And they were like, "Oh yeah, maybe we are moving too fast." We're like, "No." I mean, maybe the moving in was a little bit fast, but everything else what they were doing, they were
It was
really doing
dating.
a great build up. They were really getting to know each other. I really did appreciate them bringing in the old married couples. Talk about, oh yeah, married. Listen, as a married person, I feel very offended by that. I'm just like, everybody ain't trying to run away from their partner. Like,
Right. 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 There are some people who enjoy spending time. We don't always have to be attached at the hip, and I think a lot of times people, when they get together, they lose their freedom and feel like,
mhm.
okay, now that I have my person, this is what we have to do. We have to do this everything together, and I feel like that is where a lot of couples go wrong, because then you lose that whole "I miss you," right?
Right,
Because if you
right.
think about it, during that time we weren't as close knit, and I'm gonna say because of phones, because of technology. Like I can reach my person at any time and find out what he's doing. Whereas, early '90s, I had to page him and wait for him to get to a payphone, or I just had to wait until he got home to tell me like how his day was or whatever.
But also, that's exciting because
Right,
then you had more content to actually talk about.
right,
Us now, for the most part, getting a play to play is all right. So when your person comes home, you're like, hey, like, well, I talked
we
to you all day.
talk.
What do you think? Like,
Right, right.
I done already spoke to you. What is it?
Like I've expressed like we don't have to talk every day. Yes, it's nice to like, hey, we don't even have to do the whole good morning thing. Like ask how your day was, or oh I thought about you. Okay, cool. But the whole I need to know what you have for dinner. I need to know what you have for breakfast. Like I've had people tell me like, oh yeah, I tell him what pretty much my whole day. Why? For what?
Come to me in like 2 days. Like 2 days coming. Let's have that whole conversation. Oh my God, what you did in the last 2 days? For
Right,
real? Let it be
right,
something exciting. If I told my own husband, look, you at work, please don't call me all day. When you come home, give me the whole thing. So I can feel like I miss you all day. We get, oh
right,
my God, you're dating like that for real.
right.
If you do all that, then what do you have to look forward to anyway?
Exactly. And as relationship coaches, we can speak on this. We
Exactly.
just not we just not talking shit. Because I forgot we didn't even do intros. So my name is Crystal, and I'm the reality. We just started.
And I'm Lulu, this expert, and here we are. Like I feel like if you don't know us by now, then you've been living under a rock. So like
Right,
whatever. But I did like the humor in the movie. The part that is always hilarious for me is when the first two, they're flirting. What is funny is how people set up to try to get someone's attention.
right, right.
You know, he threw a fake bank receipt that wasn't his, that had a big number on it. She was looking for that number. He was dangling some keys that wasn't his. Oh, you got, oh,
But
oh.
then I question the is this what we look for in dating? Like when when looking for a partner, these are the expectations I want. And then when you later find out like they don't have this, you're upset, right? But is it okay to lie in the beginning? Like, especially if it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna smash once and I never see that person again. Because I'm assuming that that's what that he thought was going to happen.
But it's like it didn't align because you have this very expensive vehicle, right? And you have this very expandable bank account, but you lived in like this very low
Budget,
budget
right?
loft. You could live in
Right,
a loft, but the
right,
loft should look like whatever it looked like at the outside, it definitely should look like an inside.
right, exactly, exactly.
So you was capping, as they would say now. You was
Right,
hardcore capping. And so of course you should have same friend you got that call from, like, can I stay at your place too? Because
right.
clearly that friend has those things that you could have went there and did a little impress. But especially if you just want to smash and pass, but you can't do all that and then you bring me to this cardboard box right here.
Yeah. So the only part that I feel they could have left out the movie is the whole jail scene where she's like, "Oh, it's him." That
So that shit was hilarious for me. I loved
I
it.
just I cringed. I kept going like, "Oh God!" Now I know why I didn't watch this movie. Like what? That whole scene was ridiculous. Like you know how you put fillers in for certain things, and you're like, "We don't have nothing else. Why don't we put this in?" Like, yeah,
Because then that showed how you went to the club with all your talalas out, half your ass cheek out, and because he didn't, um, it wasn't really his car, and because it
right.
really wasn't his bank account. Now you in your feelings because you didn't gave the kitty up, so now you feel like you got egg on your face. Now I make you look stupid, and that's how she felt. That's being very petty.
Right.
That was the epitome of petty. She should get a trophy, a badge, a sash for petty.
Understandable, understandable. Now, I will
She went
say
far. She went far.
this movie could not play out during this time. No, 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 not at all. I'm sorry. I think my expectation for it was so much higher that when I saw it, I was just like, uh, whatever. It's not
It's
on
like
one of my favorite movie lists.
right. The things to receive out of that. For me is the damn. You was real petty about that. You done drove the man all on his car and stole his vehicle now. And because he was naked, he couldn't say that you stole my vehicle and had your father shoot at the man. Then embarrassed him all in the police station. Came in there like he almost argued. We don't like to say it, but that's how you present it. Now, I
Mhm.
do not care for that because, that's really sending a bad message of people of color. Like, oh, so
That's always
because you didn't like how we ended, I'm a lie and say you did something, you violated me. The man didn't violate you. You was down for it and having a jolly good time in the moment. But
now
because you really have
when you
them
think
dollars, now you mad.
But when you think of petty, my high petty is a thin line between love and hate. Now she did
Ooh.
some crazy. Now that was some okay, you crazy.
Well, when we get to that movie, we'll discuss how I felt like it was just deserved because you played with somebody's feelings and she told you, she gave you a disclosure and said don't do it
Right.
because you feel like you have something to prove. You did it if fuck around and find out was a thing, that would be it.
Yes, definitely. But back to Sprung. When
Right.
the movie first starts, in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is the couple that's going to get married. When in fact, it was not, which was a nice
Right.
twist. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that part because it didn't let I didn't presume like, okay, this is going to be the couple that's getting married,
Hmm. Hmm.
which we all thought. Um,
Yes.
but it does show you how necessarily you don't have to fake it to actually, make shit work. If we stop being so materialistic and just be the true people that we are, you can still get that same person and 10 times better have, a relationship that's set in a foundation rather than capping.
Because
Because
actually they
this
were
for
really
her
good
life,
together, right? Because they were
right?
actually good together. She was like, "Oh, you the manager here at the chicken place, and oh, you got gold. You thought he was like a bum nigga, but he
Right,
wasn't.
right.
He really had things he wanted to do for himself, and so did she. But they was too much in their egos to see who was going to get more stamps on their card of taking bodies down that they just couldn't see that. And once they threw that away because they were trying to destroy their friends and found they had so much in common, it was overwhelming.
Right. You take off that fake mask and you see, like, this is who, the real person I am, which, it takes a few months to actually show in a relationship because what the first 2 or 3 months you're trying to impress the person. Oh,
Right.
this is what I have. This is what I have.
I mean, I think that takes a lot of work for me. I ain't with all this extra. Listen, here it is. Okay, you don't like this? All right, no problem. Because there's about 5 people who will surely be on about like.
Right.
I'm not here to perform. I do not. I did not go to school for acting. Okay, that wasn't my major. So we're not putting on ears here. Like, please,
Right. Right. Which
no bones, no whispers.
I think for the first time I've not had to impress my significant other. Like I think this past weekend is the first time that I've actually gotten dressed up for us to go out. Every time we go out, I'd be like, I'm not fucking with you, so we're friends. I'm just gonna wear whatever. And it holds that shit over my head so much.
All right, we in the latter part of the year, so
You know what?
you
What
can
I
just
know.
you can just readjust slightly.
Silent.
Un poquito. I'm working on my Spanish.
I
Uh,
really don't like it.
but I enjoy that, when the first couple they went out and they went to that place and just did dancing. It kind of was just so authentic in that all the couples that were there. So you see the difference. And those couples, they were like, "Oh yeah, embrace! You guys are together. This is so fun." Opposed to when they took them to the barbecue and the couples were in they feelings. Like, "Oh no, don't get married. It's a trap."
Right,
But
right,
you still here, right? You still here with your wife, right? Like,
right.
what you complain about? You still here with that person.
But I mean, it showed you the perfect a balance of both sides. You have some married couples who love their significant other would,
I'll be the people in the park.
not change. And then you have people who are like, this is what marriage is. This is it's not all roses and rainbows every day. It is compromise. It is hard work.
Yeah, but be able to do that. Not just go out because it's a family event. Let's go somewhere where there's nobody here. Let's go somewhere
Right,
we don't know nobody and figure it
right,
out.
right.
Sometimes people are afraid to step out of their own
The
box
comfort
of what it's
zone.
supposed to look like.
Hmm.
You
Or
know,
we all go off of a picture in our head of how I
mhm,
think something is supposed to be. And if you really sit down and ask yourself, okay, at what point in life did you get this picture? When I was younger. Okay. You realize that we age and grow and change, and you have to change that picture too. But some people don't know how to change, or some people don't grow, and that's
mhm,
why a lot of couples grow apart. But because one is elevated and the other stay and gotten too comfortable.
right, right. Got complacent
Mm.
as hell. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's a lighthearted movie. I found it funny. Uh, him riding on top of that car is always hilarious for me.
I do
Uh,
that last. I don't know. I was just like, okay.
so this is the
My
point of this show, right? We're gonna have people on both sides saying, "I care for it, I didn't care for it. I like certain things, I didn't like all of it." So I thought it was funny. I know for me, I can see friends that I have back in the day. They've, obviously evolved now. That would have been the first character when she was looking for bank things and she's looking for cars, and I'm the one like, "Can we go now?
right,
Why are we
right.
still here? I'm tired."
Mm.
What? And they're trying to get their score together, and I'm just like,
Ain't nobody in here. Yeah.
right, like, oh, so you ready to go? Like, we can go eat. I'm over this. And she busy. Oh, look, they got keys. Look at this one over here. When the guy was coming to her with the drip jerry curl, that was hilarious. She was like, no.
But what I do like and found okay was the fact that she could look around the room and tell for everybody, like, oh, okay, this is what you got. That's the sex belt. That's you got. Yeah, yeah. I was like, okay. I know some women who are like that. Yes, okay. All that does matter. For me, it's not like I said, materialistic things come and go. That's not what's going to keep a relationship together.
Right. And I feel like maybe she wasn't looking for that. She was looking for that, what you got to give me right now. So for
Right.
her, that worked because I'm not looking for no thing. I don't want you to tie me down any old way. What you got right now?
I get that.
She was here for a good time, not a long time. I did love towards the end that they did feel guilty and that they tried to really get the couple back together after they did break up. They did their thing in that hotel room. I was like, let me have some friends go ahead and do all that. I mean, I wasn't playing, but I'm just saying.
Right. Um, agreed. I've never had friends be like, "Hey, why don't you?" I've had friends just be like, "Bitch, you shouldn't be with him," but not try to get us together.
Well, they knew they
Um,
was wrong. They knew they was dead
yeah,
ass wrong for
yeah.
how they went about that, and you done got the people there depressed. Like, damn, I think we fucked up. Yeah, you think?
Right,
So all in all, I think kind of worked out. Who needed to take more time took more time, and those who were already ready because they were like made for each other, them two Bobson twins,
right,
and I did that. I always like at the end of movies to see what you are doing. Give me like 2 years later. I would love if more movies did that. Just so you get a
right.
like conclusion in your mind of what happened with the couples.
Because a lot of times we think that everything happens at they lived happily ever after,
Mhm.
which doesn't. You know.
Right. So they could have been like,
Um.
you got married, but 2 years later, I was like, peace, you got on my nerve.
Right. Right.
Then the other couple went and got married.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you for watching, subscribing, all that good stuff. Again,
Following, sharing, all that.
we will have the Sprung music on our Spotify playlist. You
Absolutely.
know, starting to grow there. Um, yeah, that's it.
All right.
Nothing.
And so we'll see you for the next one.